Hi guys, welcome to our show, The Opinionated Right Back. As the name suggests, it's a football show based on the way we perceive football. Manchester Derby is the topic we'll begin with today. Tell me honestly, how does it feel? Did you think before the match, how much of a chance did you give Manchester United to win the football match?
Honestly, I was going for a draw. Not that I wanted a draw, but I was assuming that Ole would play in a way where he would be defensive, holding back, and making it difficult for City. And but he played it the other way. They were going toe to toe with them.
Right, and I'm sure as a Manchester United fan, it feels great. After a sensational result from Manchester United, I mean, come on, let's face it. I didn't give them a chance. Nobody gave anyone a chance against Manchester City. Plus, Ole, I mean, there's been a lot of criticism when it comes to Ole being at the wheel in terms of not getting big results against the top six, especially against the bigger teams going for the title. What changed yesterday?
I think because it was a derby as well. That's why I think that mentality came in, because it's about bragging rights also. It's about pride. Both the clubs in the same city. So I think added motivation for the players, I would say. Because I've seen in the past few games, that is how Solskjaer is actually trying to play. But I feel the end result is not there because players are not on the same page all the time.
Right, so was it more about it being a derby and the players found that extra yard, that extra motivation, which made all the difference?
I think so, yes. So if you remember, we were watching the match together last night and you saw how Rashford came back when he got injured.
Right.
He was sprinting at least 100 meters to get the ball back.
Right, and which doesn't normally happen.
It does, but no, it does. But I could see that was happening a lot of times yesterday. All the players were in that zone where you have to get at City players, get the ball back, and then attack.
Right, and we saw Manchester City actually in the second half pretty much dominating the game and getting back into the rhythm, which was at times missing in the first half, definitely from Manchester City's point of view. Was it more like United were going that extra yard, or was it more like City were a yard off yesterday?
I think a bit of both. I could see in a lot of parts of the game where United were passing through the lines. They were going toe to toe with Manchester City, and they weren't going for long balls like they usually do to overcome the press.
Right.
But at the same time, I saw City also playing some good football. But in the final third, I think they were not clinical enough.
Definitely.
So I think it's a bit of both.
When you don't score a goal, you're normally not clinical enough.
I didn't see Henderson also getting tested that much. They were getting to the penalty box, but then the final thing wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
The amount of saves that Henderson had to make in comparison to the Manchester City goalkeeper, Ederson, it was insane, right? He had to practically do nothing. It was like the great Manchester United teams, and the keeper has to do nothing pretty much for the 90 minutes. And most of Manchester City attacks were dropping down with that final pass, and sometimes being a little.
De Bruyne was so sluggish yesterday.
Yeah, especially in the first half.
I saw him give away the ball at least 7 to 8 times in the first half itself.
Alright. Let me ask you a tough question here. What does that mean when it comes to the bigger picture? What does it mean? First and foremost, do we still have a title race on this season? Are Manchester United a part of that title race? With the gap that exists at the top of the table?
I think looking at the number of games that are remaining,
11 each. Yeah.
11 each.
And 11 points is the difference.
Yeah, so they have more or less 33 points to play for. So it would take a lot of wrong things from Manchester City's end also for it to be called a title race. Like as of now, City are running away with it.
It is tied up pretty much.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree that City are just.
But the indifferent season we've been having, I still think there's one last.
It's not so much that a couple of games Manchester City will probably draw points. It might happen. It may not happen.
And that would be the turning point, I think. In the next couple of games, if City manage to win, then I think they're running away with it.
And that's pretty much it then.
Yeah.
And plus we're also talking about United then having the need to drop not even a single point from here till the end of the season. That's 33 points, 11 matches. Do you think United are capable of pulling a run like that together?
I think they are. I think you've seen in the past that Ole's team has been such where they do manage to put in runs and they go for 7-8 matches unbeaten or something like that, and then when the drop comes, then it comes for a long time. Right?
But we
So
have
that's the mediocre part that we've been going through right now. You see a lot of draws coming in. Yesterday we won, but United have to build on this. It's not just about this one game. Yes, I was very happy yesterday, and I didn't expect it to be a so clear-cut win, but it was. Yes, but United have to build on this.
Right. And what does that second question, when it comes to the bigger umbrella, what does that actually mean for United going into next season? Does that tell us that Ole's team is moving? I mean, they are definitely the best of the rest right now. They are second for all practical purposes. They have been for a while now. They have been there since they've reached that second spot. That transition now from being the best of the rest and going and attacking Manchester City, is that something which is happening now? Are United progressing over the last 2-3 seasons? Or is it stagnant and it's like every time Ole needs to win a game, he wins a game? Is that what it is?
I think there has been progress. Everyone can see that. You as a Liverpool fan will also agree to it that to some level United have progressed. I know you might not like it that much, but United have progressed, right? But it's just that the level or the bar of expectation from United is such that right now, if Ole loses a couple of games on the run, and his job is in danger, right? It's that sort of a thing.
Yeah, it's Manchester United. His job has always been in danger.
Yeah. So to answer your question, looking at the bigger picture, I think Ole is on the right track. But in the transfer window for next season, United board needs to invest.
What kind of positions are we talking about? Are we trying to address centre-back issues? Are you happy with United's defence, for example?
Certainly. I think that would be a big step if you can bring in a good world-class centre-back.
To play with Maguire or to play...
Either of them. I don't know. No,
because Lindelof has had a sensational season so far.
Yeah. And he's been playing with an injury also. Many people might not know that. He's been playing with a back injury. Maguire is...
Lindelof.
He's
playing with a back injury.
Yeah, back injury.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if a defender comes in who has good speed, just one that extra attribute that United's defense is lacking. If they have that defender, play either one of them, Maguire or Lindelof, I think they'll play well.
And as a Manchester United fan, you feel comfortable in the full-back areas? Do you think that's covered with Luke Shaw? And
I think there needs to be some competition for Wan-Bissaka. Right now, there isn't. In the big games, everyone knows the first name on the sheet is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Because he's consistent also, and credit to him, I think he's done a really good job coming into Manchester United. Just his second season, I know he hasn't been brilliant, so to say, because people do question his attacking abilities. But yeah, I think he needs some extra motivation that Luke Shaw has, and you've seen the performances that Luke Shaw is putting in since.
And obviously scored a goal yesterday.
Yeah.
Is Wan-Bissaka the best right full-back in the league?
One of them.
Is he the best defensive
I think he's in the top three.
right
I think he's in the top three.
Is defensively the best right?
If you just consider the defensive side of it, I think he is the best.
Fair enough. We'll take this topic up for discussion in a separate session, not today. You talked about signings, and United, like any other big team, they probably need to make a couple of signings to bridge that 11-point gap which exists at the top of the table. Which players are we looking at? Do we have a centre back in mind already as United fans?
I think they were looking at a couple of people. Out of them, one was Leipzig's defender. I forgot the name. Upamecano. But I think he's going to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, that deal.
I think one other rumor that I can believe could be true is United is linked with Varane.
Right.
And he's, I think, looking for a new project. So I've read.
Yeah, and we'll stay focused on the Varane story with Manchester United as it comes along.
Yeah.
Is defense the most important part of it, or are we also talking about, especially with what has happened and the lack of scoring that sometimes exists with Martial and Rashford especially, Bruno Fernandes' contribution to the goal scoring tally has been insane, and without him where would Manchester United be without his goals? So are we also talking about another striker or a creative player in that final third of the pitch?
I think United should get in one right-sided midfielder, I think, because they're lacking that specialist winger player. Right? We have Greenwood and Dan James playing over there. So Greenwood is more or less a striker. He came out through the United Academy as a striker. Right. That's how he knows to play. But he's been doing decent work on the wing, but I think we need one proper right-sided specialist winger, but at the same time, I also feel defense is the first priority because you're right. In this season, our attackers haven't scored that much. But what if next season they do? Right? It's one of those seasons at the end of the last season. How many
We
goals?
expect that. Martial has been here for a while. Rashford has been in the team for a while after that sensational Arsenal debut. I don't know how many years ago now. So, I mean, shouldn't they be scoring more than 20-25 goals per season?
Of course,
Is
based
there
on their
that-
ability, of course, they should be.
But
I
they're
think-
not, right?
Yeah.
Consistently, they're
Yeah,
not
consistently
crossing
they're-
that bridge.
I think it's more of a mentality thing. I think the ability is there, but it's more of a mentality thing where they're not quite able to break through that barrier so that they can be considered world class.
Right.
Right.
So, does that mean for United?
That consistency is not there. I think that's the only thing lacking in their performances. If they bring in the consistency, I think that will be
Right. So, are we looking at Sancho's and the Haalands of this world and thinking that maybe there is space in the Manchester United machinery for
I think
those
there
guys?
is, yeah.
Sancho is something that's been there every season for the last couple of seasons. Every transfer window, United are linked with Jadon Sancho, and then nothing happens. But then the fact of the matter is that he has not been signed by any other team, and there is this expectation that Jadon Sancho, the kind of form that he has been in for the last couple of seasons, and now playing with Haaland, in a way it probably suits both of them to just move to one team, but obviously Real is also there and Chelsea is also there.
Looking at the market because of what all the pandemic has done to all of us, I think bringing in two world-class players in that same transfer window, I think no team is going to do that. So if we bring in one big centre-back signing, so I think then the option for that winger is going to be postponed, I'm sure.
Right.
So I think it goes
Yeah,
the
I
same
think,
for every
I
team,
mean, it
right?
makes sense too. Even especially the kind of year we have had, I think
Yeah.
pretty much every club is resisting in terms of spending big money. Apart from Manchester City, of course, we'll get back to that later. Does that mean Manchester United, for this season at least, the result yesterday and the psychological importance that that result carries with it, beating your neighbours, the noisy neighbours, Manchester is red, etc., knowing that City, fine, they'll win the title probably, but in a way it's enough for the town, right, for now, considering how the season has gone, that they won the Manchester derby, and I'm sure a lot of confidence has been taken from it. Does that mean Manchester United are out of the top 4 fight for this season? Are they safely in the top 4?
I think so, yes.
Can they stop looking behind their shoulder now, once and for all?
See, I can't say 100% for sure. I think nobody can. But looking at the way they're playing, I can see the number of defeats that we had last season. That has been minimized. Right? That's a good sign. That is again a way of showing progress. But at the same time, if we go 2-3 games with a draw, like we did in the last 3 games, 0-0 draws, so I think other teams are also playing well. I see West Ham, Everton, Chelsea all coming into form, and if they show the consistency we can't, I think easily it could go out of hands.